नहीं। Good afternoon, everyone. Long time. Okay. So we are again back in that part of the season where actions and activities increase. We have almost seen a major part of Swachh Sarvekshan being completed. ODF certification almost through in a large part of the cities, and GFC under progress. At the same time, we have also seen that overall nationally 50% of the planning for Swachh Bharat mission is completed. As far as solid waste management is concerned, national averages 75% of the city's action plan is complete, except around 5 states. The rest of them have already completed, and they are well on their way as far as procurement is also concerned. Used water is slightly behind, but on the 13th of September, when we go for the next NARC, we are having 10 states. We are having 10 states that who will be placing their proposals for used water management. So if we complete that, then my estimate is by the time we embark 1st October 2023, 2 years completion of SBM 2.0, we should be at a 65 around percentage overall plan completion, depending how much response we get from 3 or 4 states who are yet to take some action. But the personal target which I had kept was 100% completion. So I had thought that we will be able to complete all action plans of all states by 1st of October 2023. But looks like 4 to 5 states will not be able to do it. We still have time till 13th of September. I think I've given the final date of 7th to as the last date when we will be able to take it into the agenda, because we have to share all of it with Niti Aayog, with finance, with all other ministries that are part of the NARC. So we need about 3 to 4 days time for that. So 7th is the last date by which you can send your action plans for incorporation into the next NARC. So this is where we are as far as planning is concerned. The third progress where we are is about finances, financial management. Of financial management, I'm having concerns. The concerns are of 3 types. First, extremely large unspent balance of SBM1 by around 6 to 7 states. Swachh Bharat mission is going to complete 9 years. Even after 9 years, there are about 6 to 7 states who have a large unspent balance in their accounts of phase 1. Few states have taken revalidation approvals for phase 1 proposals. And we have given, wherever states have asked for it, we have given that. And the maximum time permissible for expenditure of phase 1 funds is 31st of December 2023. So 2023 31st December तक जो भी unutilized balance है phase 1 का, you will have to actually see that you spend that and you provide us the UC. So on 13th NARC, Secretary Mahua will be specifically asking for a plan of this expenditure of all those states who have balance of SBM1 funds. So I will request mission directors, please take a quick review after this meeting as far as action plan and unspent balance is concerned. The second point of finance is low offtake of SBM2 funds. अब देखिए, after the SNA system has come in and the PFMS system has come in, unless your account balance is low, we are unable to release funds to you. तो पहले जो आप बोलते थे कि भारत सरकार से पैसा आया नहीं है, अब ये है कि आप जितना अब्सॉर्ब करेंगे उसी हिसाब से ही भारत सरकार का पैसा यहां से रिलीज होने वाला है. तो जब तक आपके अकाउंट में 25% से कम पैसा नहीं होता है, तब तक पीएफएमएस में वो दिखाएगा कि आपका बैलेंस हाई है और यहां से वी विल नॉट बी एबल टू रिलीज योर फंड्स. As a result, today, the total fund release in the country has been extremely less. We will be showing on 13th of September what percentage of funds of your total allocation you have been able to claim till now. अगर मान लीजिए आपका एलोकेशन है 4,000 करोड़ भारत सरकार का शेयर जो है, इसका मतलब है आपके पास 5 साल में 8 से 10,000 करोड़ रहेंगे. 8 से 10,000 करोड़ एक्सपेंडिचर के लिए you will have the capacity to at least spend 1,500 to 2,000 crores every year. Whereas till now, there are states who have been able to claim only 5 to 6 to 7% of the total allocation. So what is the planning that you have? अगर पहले 2 साल में आप 5% of the allocation आप खर्चा करेंगे, अगले 3 साल में आप 95% खर्चा कर पाएंगे. What is the planning? और आप स्टेट का शेयर कैसे प्रोविजन करेंगे? Has the state decided how much they will provide if you are having 95% left for next 3 years? So financial absorption, expenditure, and utilization has not been up to the mark for any of the states. Not a single state, this is up to the mark. So please have a look at it. We have few months before model code, elections, and all these process will start, for which you might also have some slowing down of work. Therefore, my sincere request is, we have 3 months, clean 3 to 4 months, working months in front of us. Let us please move ahead as far as tendering and progress of work is concerned. Each mission director must have a target in front of him and her as to which is my last date by which my work orders should be issued and actual work starting. We have already shared draft tender documents for MRFs, waste to compost, 3 varieties of legacy dump site, biogas, and everything that's there in the sector with all of you. You have also given us comments. We have received close to 200 comments. We are evaluating those comments, and by next week, we will be incorporating whatever we think should be incorporated or modified, and then we will send you the final documents. You are free to make use of those documents as well. The next thing I would like to highlight is about priority focus on certain areas. कुछ ऐसे areas हैं जिसपे you will have to give your specific attention. The first focus area, one city, one MRF. One city, one MRF is the first area of focus. जो आपका ड्राई वेस्ट निकलता है, आपके हर शहर में MRF है कि नहीं, कब तक ये MRF लगेंगे, इसका क्लियर प्लान आपके सामने होना चाहिए. आपके शहर में what is the wet waste that is getting generated? One city, one compost, at least one city, one compost. Does your wet waste facility, does your city have all-weather wet waste facility? Most of the cities, there are many cities in which we don't have all-weather facilities. They're open under the sun. As a result, when you have 3 months of monsoon or you have high cold conditions, you do not do your organic composting, which means around 5 months of a year, you don't convert your waste into compost. So do you have all-weather composting for the entire wet waste that you have? If not, what are your timelines for execution? How many agencies are working? What is the progress? Do you have a dashboard in front of you to monitor all that? The third priority, which is extremely important, is legacy dump site remediation. Except the top 10 dump sites of the country, which are in metropolitan cities, rest everybody should be able to complete it, should be completing it latest by December 2024. Are you well on track for that? What is the reporting format that you get from the site? There are many agencies that are giving fraudulent reports. RDF को दिखा रहे हैं कि सीमेंट प्लांट में जा रहा है. जब सीमेंट प्लांट से हमने कुछ रैंडम क्रॉस चेक किया, कोई आरडीएफ वहां पे पहुंचा नहीं है. इसका मतलब है आपके यहां से बिल जा रहा है, लेकिन वो बीच रास्ते कहीं पे आरडीएफ को डंप कर रहा है. तो आपका checks and balances क्या है? Do you have a system of collecting in case it's going to the cement plants for collecting some kind of authentication? What is your monitoring for that? What is the timeline? The loss of time which has happened due to very severe rainfall in various parts of the countries, how are we going to make it up? कितने ट्रॉमिल्स लगे हैं? What is the actual capacity? What is the actual number of hours? Calculate how many vehicles are evacuating the material every day. Go on a back calculation. If we are having 2 trips, 2 vehicles of so and so facility to evacuate X quantity, how many vehicles, how many days, how many trips? Do a back calculation. And please see how many real working days are you having. Just now I happened to visit one city and we did a back calculation. We saw that out of 365 days, the actual working days were only 170. So having all these aspirational calculations that I will be able to complete by March, I will be able to complete by July, I will request mission directors and city teams do a deep diving as far as legacy dump site is concerned. Because cities will keep doing it, and those who don't do it, they'll actually come into the forefront. The next important thing that you have to plan for legacy dump site is, as and when you are clearing it, what's your plan to use that land for? You're going to do a greenfield greening site, you're going to do an entertainment zone, you're going to have some kind of urban forest there, or you're going to use part of it into waste management. What's your plan for that? And have you done your approvals? Uska jo bhi development ka hai. Have you gone ahead with that? This is also the time to plan for it. Many cities have already done it. Those who haven't done it, please start. This is the time. The fourth important thing is gas, which is an exceptionally important thing. We will have to show by December 2024 that you all are capable of getting into the next generation of waste management. Biogas plants in at least 75 to 100 cities. The union budget announces 75 cities, but our target is much more. Swachh Bharat Mission's target is to set up 15,000 TPD for gas. So it will be around 125 to 150 cities, not 75. We will have to do much more. We will go much beyond. And potential is there. Potential is there. Now, important is what's happening is private vendors are coming. You are taking tender papers from them and you are floating it in the name of tenders. So kindly don't do that. There are certain do's and don'ts as far as the success of biogas plant is concerned. And we have shared that in various meetings, most importantly in the 3-day conference that we had at Indore, in which the cities that were interested for biogas plants, all of you attended that meeting. Citing selection of the land, having a proper segregation, which is mandatory for the success of the plant, having a good method of procurement and a good model for it. These are absolute essentials. And from day one of the planning phase, or OGMCs must be part of the planning. There are many cities, at least 50, 60 cities, in which OGMCs themselves are setting up biogas plants, which is fantastic. That's where the city has to come forward, A, to give them land, B, to give them the waste. So these projects, right now, I was taking a feedback, although out of 60, 59, except Pimpri Chinchwad, or rest everybody has finalized the land, but tender award is extremely less. All of you in the previous review had assured me that by August, your tenders would be out. 15th August is over. This is 1st of September. But the progress on award of tendering is very, very low. So please take a review of that. What is stopping your tender? And I will have my section collect the date of tender award, expected tender award from you in the next week before we go into NARC. The next important thing is we are going through a very important phase where around 18 new cities are going for waste to electricity projects. In the first few years of Swachh Bharat, we had a mixed experience of waste to electricity projects. Some succeeded, some did not succeed as much. But congratulations and compliments to the new generation cities, 18 of them, who have come forth to take this bold step of setting up waste to electricity plants. Now, waste to electricity plant success or failure today is no more about technology. It is more about operations and management and how you have modeled, how you have planned it from day one, integrating all stakeholders, be it discoms, be it your private sector, reducing the risk, be it the location of the land or be it assurance of the waste. It's more an operations issue because the technology in this is pretty decoded and stabilized. So these 18 cities are moving ahead. We still have another gap of around 2,500 to 3,000 capacity as far as SBM targets are concerned. So certain metropolitan cities and large cities who have not gone ahead, this is the time for all of you to plan and finalize which are those extremely large cities where you can think of a waste to electricity plant. Because as you move ahead, RDF disposal is becoming an issue for all of you. How much of it can you keep sending to cement plants? So only when we have certain clusters of these plants fully functional, they can act as a buffer. And the next important thing which all of you will have to plan is Safai Mitra Suraksha, which is complete transition to a mechanized cleaning. Mechanized cleaning does not mean all of you will procure substances and products and vehicles and not put them to use. We have to see that we have to create an enabling environment. So enabling environment will mean empanelment of vendors, listing of vehicles. Some cities have even gone to the extent of geotagging these desludging vehicles, integrating with the integrated command control centers also, wherever smart cities are there. Having some kind of system where you have an emergency response sanitation unit, which is the authorized and equipped unit to go for human entry if there is a requirement, and of course extremely large scale IEC. So this is where you also need trained people. You also need to promote loans for self-entrepreneurship. So this 360-degree approach is what is required for creating an enabling environment. On this, I have seen many cities put up declarations on the portal that we are Safai Mitra Surakshit without even having a single vehicle. Without even having a single vehicle. That is not the approach. That is not the approach. So you feel that since 6 years, if you don't have death, you are Safai Mitra Surakshit. No. What is the system for this mechanized desludging in your city. Death is one part of it, but mechanization of the services is what we are trying to promote through our intervention. So please have a look at it. Some states have already given their action plans, taken funds for a limited amount of desludging vehicles. They have also started the procurement, whereas the market is pretty good as far as availability of private operators are concerned. Now here I will also request another thing. In a short while, we will be announcing it, but in the meanwhile, I can share with you. Announcing means giving you guidelines. So we have the Upyog portal under the National Urban Digital Mission. Upyog portal has a desludging service. It has 9 services. One of it is desludging services or FSM services. FSM services can be utilized by all of you, and cloud space is free for you because NUDM has it. Letters have gone from the ministry to all states for NUDM. So you can straight away start using the FSM services which is available under the Upyog portal, which will allow customer and private operator linkage. In about 1 month's time, we will be sending you official guidelines after we bring in some value additions to that existing Upyog portal. But even without those value additions, even today, you can straight away use Upyog portal. You need to have a system integrator at your level, and you can even go ahead with urban rural convergence mapping, whatever you wish to. But even without that, you can go ahead just starting usage of the available services of FSM on Upyog. So these are the few things which I thought I should flag to you on 1st of September to bring back priorities in your radar. And the last and the most important thing I will highlight now. The soul of Swachh Bharat is campaigns. Any city which has not been able to do campaigns and people mobilization well, the quality of waste and the implementation of projects is also poor. All those cities that are continuously engaging with public are actually much more successful in terms of overall sanitation outcomes. So since this is now the build-up time to our 2nd of October and 1st of October, like previous year, we have conceptualized a massive campaign and a national event. So we will share with you now the structure of the campaign and the event and the few activities that we think states and cities can do to maximize the outcomes. I request my team to please share the PPT. I request Director Madhu ji aap hai to please present the Pakhwada and the first and second requirements.
Good afternoon, everyone. So as briefed by ma'am, Swachhata Pakhwada would start from Seva Divas and it would be till Swachhata Divas, 17th September to 2nd of October. The first component would be Indian Swachhata League 2.0 second season. So let the game resume with much more vigor. Objectives would be to mobilize diverse youth groups at scale to take sustained ownership for Swachhata across beaches, hills, and tourist places, and to act as catalyst for triggering action by youth of the city towards the vision of garbage-free cities. So the achievements that were there in the last season were that more than 500,000 youth rallied for garbage-free cities, and more than 1,800 city teams undertook various creative and unique initiatives last time, and it was a huge success. This time, it is going to be mandatory for all the cities to participate, and we are expecting at least 75% cities, that is 3500 cities at least, to participate in Indian Swachhata League Season 2. And we expect the number to be 3 times. So this time round, we are expecting 15 lakh citizen volunteers to be there. Brief timelines are as under. City registration and preparatory phase would start from tomorrow till 10th of September. Swachhata Pakhwada would be launched by Honorable Minister on 11th of September. Pre-event activities would be undertaken by cities from 11th to 16th September, and ISL season 2 would be held on 17th of September, Seva Divas, and submission on Swachhtam portal would be done between 18th to 20th September. We would be again collaborating with MyGov on this. Next. So the timelines of the campaign, as I've already told, and it would be in collaboration with the MyGov, uploading of details on pre-event and post-event activities, photos and video for jury evaluation on Swachhtam portal would be between 18th and 20th. So you have to ensure that everything is uploaded on time. Next. Registration will start from tomorrow till 4th of September. Choose a city team name and create an official team logo for ISL 2.0, that is our ask from you all. Fill the online form with required details and upload team logos. City teams to choose their team captains and brand ambassadors. Teams to finalize their location and activity. No changes will be permitted once decided, because last time many of you were requesting for changes. This time we would not be entertaining those kind of requests.
I have a request. ये जो रजिस्ट्रेशन है इसको 2 से 4 मत करो. हम लोग ने आज मीटिंग लिया, इनको समय दो, ये लोग अपने लेवल में प्रिपरेटरी मीटिंग करें. ये पूरा जो है इसको 1 वीक दो. सो गिव देम टाइम टिल 7 ताकि ये लोग अपना सिटी टीम, ऑफिशियल लोगो, सिटी का कैप्टन और एक्टिविटीज और लोकेशंस पूरा एक बार ही फाइनल कर दें. And you give them time from 7th till 10th to upload all these activities.
Okay, ma'am, we'll amend it accordingly then.
Give them a little more time.
Right. Then each city has to share their nodal person's contact details, because a lot of communication takes place during this period. And city-wise ISL event details will be displayed on MyGov from 11th September. Next. Pre-event mobilization for Indian Swachhata League 2.0. It begins on 11th September onwards. Cities are required to spread awareness regarding this and increase citizen registration via MyGov QR code. We already had a preliminary meeting with MyGov CEO on this, and they would be extending all the help to us.
नहीं, मधु 1 सेकेंड. पिछली बार ये हुआ था कि माईगव का जो QR कोड था उसमें रजिस्ट्रेशन करने में काफी दिक्कतें आ रही थी. इसका कारण है कि जो लोड हमने एनविसाज किया था, एक्चुअल पार्टिसिपेशन वाज मच मोर और टाइम पीरियड भी बहुत कम था. तो मधु, आप रजिस्ट्रेशन, जो सिटीजन रजिस्ट्रेशन पूरा इस बार 1 वीक दे रही हैं. इसके लिए the load will not be like last year 48 hours का समय था. इस बार cities will actually get 1 week time. So load will be also spread out. तो ये दिक्कतें आएंगी नहीं. और backend में भी system is now ready. We are keeping a target of around 15 lakhs. Last time it was 5 lakhs. This time we are looking at like 15 lakhs. So a system will also be ready to handle that kind of a load. And registration, participation, which is the key to this league, will be only through the QR code, not through Google Form, spreadsheet, or WhatsApp reporting. Whatever goes on MyGov is what we get reflected as your city participation number.
Then social media, mid-media, mass media is to be leveraged like last time. NCC, NSS, youth clubs, RWAs, NGOs, organizations are to be activated to take part in ISL 2.0. Ensure maximum participation for the event on 17th September. So cities have to organize. This is our suggestion, that you can organize ISL flash mobs in addition to any other activity for spreading awareness. And uniqueness of pre-event activities would also be evaluated. Jury would look into the uniqueness or innovative aspects brought in by the cities. Next, please.
मधु, वन मोर रिक्वेस्ट, ये जो 11 तारीख को campaign materials, honorable minister will be launching the campaign on 11th, which means cities will get open files from us on 11th itself.
जी.
तो 12 तारीख से cities can start using those materials and build up the entire campaign mood. And 13 तारीख is our NARC, where every state has to
Yes.
Participate. So, but we will have a strategy for social media management as well as local media management and communication at the level of the state and cities. So when is the next round of interaction with the states? You have, I think, kept it on the 15th. Will that not be too late?
Then ma'am, suggest we'll have it accordingly.
So what we can do is, right after NARC gets over, we can continue giving another link with the states to discuss that whole strategy, so that there is one common strategy. And then of course cities and states will do their own as an add-on. But जो basic कुछ चीजें हैं which should be part of the comms, that can be quickly disseminated within a 30-minute discussion with states and cities logging in after the NARC, immediately after the NARC.
Right, ma'am. Okay. Next, please. Evaluation parameters. How will we be going about it? It would be made available, the form would be made available on Swachhotsav portal from 18th September till 20th September, and evaluation would be based on the pre-event activities for citizen mobilization, scale of the engagement, the innovativeness, uniqueness of the activity, and the impact created by those activities. Pre-event, during event, post-event, photos, videos, descriptions would be needed. Only one submission per ULB would be allowed and no modifications would be allowed post the deadline. Next. Communication plan. MoHUA will circulate the following branding and communication material to be incorporated in IEC collaterals, outreach material by cities, official banners, social media hashtags, AV, audiovisual song, posters, infographics, logo, t-shirt design template, backdrops for selfie points. So scale would be there, youth registration leadership on MyGov, then innovation and impact, prominent jury by MoHUA would be there to evaluate the ideas and the action, and top city would be invited to the national program. Next, please. Key action points for the states, UTs and cities. State level coordination meeting with relevant stakeholders, departments would be the first thing to do. Then coordination meeting with ULBs would be required to be done by the state. Mobilization of citizens for ISL flash mobs, ISL events and other activities, timely completion of registration formalities, and end-to-end documentation of all the events and activities. Next, please. Timelines for campaign. This we have already shared. Next. Now the second part of pre-event, second component of pre-event activities is the Safai Mitra Suraksha Shivir. Objective is to saturate the welfare.
मधु, just 1 second. तो as अभी डायरेक्टर जो बता रही हैं, प्री इवेंट में पिछली बार हम लोगों ने किया ISL के बाद दिल्ली में हुआ था स्वच्छता स्टार्टअप चैलेंज, और स्वच्छता स्टार्टअप चैलेंज के बाद हम लोगों ने किया था 2 दिन का CB का शिविर, followed by the president's program on the 1st. This time it will have, the pre-event will have 3 components. Component 1, ISL season 2. Component 2, Safai Mitra Suraksha Shivir, which are welfare camps for sanitation workers. And component 3 will be a fortnight long cleanliness drives in the dirtiest places of the cities. और ये केवल cities ही नहीं करेंगी, इसमें भारत सरकार के जो दूसरे मंत्रालय है और उनके जो लाइन एजेंसीज हैं states में, they will also be doing. For example, यहाँ से वाइल्ड लाइफ डिवीजन will be sending a letter and a request and having the meetings with all these sanctuaries, forest parks, etc., wildlife areas, how to do the cleanliness during this fortnight. Railways will take up cleaning in the platforms and the railway tracks which are there. So similarly, different ministries will do. So ये जो cleanliness वाला कार्यक्रम है, इसमें आप लोग coordination meeting करेंगे. State level में also call these relevant ministries. We will be sending you by tomorrow the letter. Today evening at 5 o'clock we have the interministerial coordination meeting. So ये जो तीन component है, that will have to be put together in this fortnight. Yes, Madhu. तो सुरक्षा शिविर बताइए मधु.
So the objectives of these Safai Mitra Suraksha would be to saturate all Government of India and state government welfare schemes for sanitation workers and their dependents. It would improve their well-being and quality of life. Target group would be all sanitation workers who work in solid waste management or used water management. ULB employed, they might be the employees of ULBs or outsourced through PSSOs also. All kind of sanitation workers are to be catered by way of these Safai Mitra Suraksha Shivers. The key activities that would be undertaken would be mass awareness for maximum engagement, organize preventive health checkups, extend insurance, provide loans, distribution of PPE kits, safety gear, and others. So we would be sharing those key activities with you. And preventive health checkups would be again a very good focus area for these Safai Mitra Suraksha Shivers. Next, please. So we have segregated these key welfare schemes benefits into 3-4 components. As far as Government of India schemes of housing and civic amenities are concerned, so services, we have one column of services, then Government of India schemes and benefits under the scheme. So we'll be sharing these details with you. Just to give an example, under PM Awas Yojana Urban Pakka House with civic amenities for urban poor, this kind of benefits are to be given. So you have to have the preliminary enumeration done of the Safai Mitras in your cities, and then to see what kind of benefits can be given to their family members across various Government of India schemes. Similarly, for water and sewer service, Atal Mission for Rejuvenation Amrut is there. Those kind of connections are to be provided. If they are not having those uh, uh, facilities with them, you have to connect them to those kind of things. Then social services, PM Jan Arogya Yojana, and you must have seen that PM Swanidhi scheme is also collaborating with for this saturation across Government of India, say 7-8 of those schemes. So you already know about a few aspects of these kind of social safety net welfare schemes of Government of India. Next, please. So these are again few other services that can be provided under financial services head, occupational support. Next. Now we come to indicative reporting parameters that you will have to have. We would be providing a format in which you will be reporting few things like number of workers who received health checkups, number of workers received health insurance, number of workers received loans, credit access, received ID cards, number of workers whose children were immunized in the health checkup camps, then whose family members received vaccinations, whose bank accounts were opened, who received a pension scheme, received PPE, received training orientation, number of SHGs, if they could be formed in sanitation and waste management sector, number of families who received gas connections, water connections, sewerage connections. Next. Now the preparatory activities. States have to set up coordination meetings with ULBs, disseminate the event protocol to ULBs, organize mass awareness mobilization drives for maximum engagement, facilitate innovative initiatives, and what is to be done at ULB level? You have to update the MIS on Safai Mitra Suraksha related details, create update enumeration details of all sanitation workers on Swachhotsav, liaise with relevant departments, field staff, to facilitate the shivers, provide wide awareness to ensure maximum engagement with sanitation workers, brand of Safai Mitra Suraksha shivers that those created would be shared with you. They have to be there at the camps and display key messages at camps for sanitation workers. Next. Now, Mahua will share the logo of Safai Mitra Suraksha Shivir, template for reporting on Swachhotsav portal, and key messages for display at the shivers. Local media would have to be invited to adequately cover the events that would be taking that would be there. Ensure that all the activities are zero single-use plastic and generate as minimum waste as possible.
Madhu, 1 second. We are aware that many of the cities have already done excellent work as far as various welfare measures like insurance, housing, then provision of drinking water facilities. Many of you have built up excellent Safai Mitra resting rooms also for your sanitation workers, etc., etc. So there is always a possibility that there might be somebody who needs the scholarship, somebody who needs support for maybe has migrated from rural area to urban area, requires something. So we can always see who's left out, and we must try our best that health, basic housing, food, sanitation, water, education, all these basic facilities, including insurance, must be available to those who work for our mission. The other thing you can do is, even if, let us say, you are sure that they are fully saturated, absolutely fine. There could be maybe one child who needs a support for higher education. You can always have a look at that. Some female member who wants to be part of SHG group, you can always facilitate that. If nothing, and you feel that everything is saturated for them, at least do a mandatory health checkup. At least do a mandatory health checkup. And for the female employees, like many cities have done, please have a menstrual hygiene camp. So this is also something which many cities have done successfully, but there are many who haven't done it. So use this fortnight as a Safai Mitra welfare fortnight. So 17 तारीख को आप लोग ISL कीजिए, scale it up, get your youth, create this noise, and create that big bang event in your city, which has good impact. Get the best possible participation from different sectors. After that, for the next 1 week, 10 days, focus on sanitation worker. And for that, you can start your preparation right away from tomorrow, so that we also get a number nationally. Today, we don't have a clear database how many sanitation workers are there. Okay, different times you are reporting different numbers. So these many sanitation workers under the ULB, these many under the outsourcing method, these many through private operators, irrespective of whosoever they are, create the Seva Evam Suraksha Shivir, a single window camp for health and welfare services of sanitation workers. Your term as commissioner, and the SWM team will be most successful and remembered by these workers by such initiatives. So make a good impact. Many of you have already saturated, as I said, but there is always scope to do a little more. There are some who have gone to the extent of making uniforms for their sanitation workers. And those uniforms are stitched by SHG members. So you can always go for a replenishment of the next one. Anything can be done. Eye checkup can be done. Health checkup can be done. A nutrition and well-being session can be done for them. A yoga or some kind of a wellness camp can be done for them. Ideas are numerous. It is your willpower to integrate it into one Seva camp. So please do that. And I will be looking forward towards excellent examples of leadership of mission directors and commissioners in this welfare activity. Madhu, you may proceed.
Next, please. So the timelines for these shivers would be that now today we have briefed the states and cities on the campaign. ULB would be conducting awareness activities and update details of Safai Mitras on Swachhotsav portal till 16th of September. Launch of the campaign by Honorable Minister would take place on 11th of September. Camps for identification of beneficiaries, mandatory mass health checkups would be lined up from 17th to 25th of September, 1 week. Completion of administrative processes have to go side by side. So they may take place between 17th to 25 again. And then distribution of benefits has to take place between 1st of October and 2nd of October. These timelines have a little variation. We'll correct them. But then the distribution of benefits have to take place between 1st of October and 2nd of October. And then reporting on Swachhotsav portal would take place between 10th to by 15th. You have to complete that. Next. So the suggested activities are that providing awareness to sanitation workers about the government schemes available to them, organize preventive health checkups for sanitation workers, organize camps for sanitation workers to apply for the schemes, to apply for the schemes they are entitled to, extending health insurance and other social benefits, providing loans to eligible sanitation workers who want to become sanipreneurs, providing ID cards to all sanitation workers, registration of outsourced workers with ULB, provide them uniforms, distribution of appropriate PPE kits to sanitation workers based on their area of work, conduct occupational trainings, conduct training on occupational hygiene, registration of private sanitation service operators. This is again something which many cities are yet to take up. Registration of PSSOs. So that can also be undertaken. That would be of immense value to everyone. Next, please. Ma'am, should I go ahead with Swachh Bharat Samaroh?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, then Swachh Bharat Samaroh would be there on 1st of October. Next. There would be Swachhta Jhankis and states would be involved in it. The key activities that are to be undertaken would be that states have to showcase jhankis featuring floats and tableaus on Swachh Bharat mission. Suggested themes, maybe many, you may undertake any of the themes, but then the suggested themes are solid waste management, used water management, IEC, capacity building, digital technology, or best practices as part of 9 years journey of the mission. And you have to indicate the following things to us by 7th of September. What would be the theme of Jhanki your city is planning for, your state is planning for? What kind of a design you are proposing? Number of participants and timeline for completion. Now, what you can do, you may like to tie up with an agency which state is comfortable with, or we would be linking you up with say 12, 13 agencies which are there for the Republic Day parade. They make jhankis. So we have contacted them. We had a preliminary meeting with them today before this meeting. So we would be providing you the contact details of the agencies which work in Delhi, and you may tie up with your resident commissioners or the state other authorities who are placed in Delhi, and engage with those agencies, get your jhankis made. So both options are available to you. But then we would be requiring these details by 7th of September or even earlier if you can share it with us, because time required, time available with us is very less. Now you would hardly get 15 to 20 days to come up with jhankis. One jhanki per state is mandatory. You may like to come up with 2 jhankis, 3 jhankis. It depends on state's willingness. Next, please.
Just one second. तो जैसे अभी डायरेक्टर बता रही थी, ये जो फोर्टनाइट का कार्यक्रम हो गया, अभी हम लोग आगे हैं मेन इवेंट को. मेन इवेंट है 1 और 2 तारीख नई दिल्ली में. मेन इवेंट में जो इनागुरल प्रोग्राम है, 2 दिन का कार्यक्रम है और इनागुरल कार्यक्रम प्रपोज किया जा रहा है 1 तारीख को. 1 तारीख इनागुरल कार्यक्रम में 3 कंपोनेंट्स होंगे। एक कंपोनेंट है स्वच्छता झांकी। झांकी का मकसद है कि स्टेट्स 9 साल में स्वच्छता के लिए जो काम किए हैं उसको वो दिखाएं, शोकेस करें। और वो रिपब्लिक डे में जैसे टैब्ल्यू के माध्यम से दिखाया जाता है, वैसे ही जो आपका यूएसपी है, जो आप सोचते हैं आपका सबसे खास चीज है आपके स्वच्छता के जर्नी में, वैसा एक दो कंपोनेंट आप चूज कर सकते हैं और उसको आप झांकी में शोकेस कीजिए। It is expected that every state and union territory will participate in this Swachhta Jhanki because Swachh Bharat is everybody's program और आज जो भी हुआ है it is because of participation of all states and union territories. तो जैसे छत्तीसगढ़ का स्ट्रेंथ है वुमेन पावर, दे कैन शो दैट। अगर जैसे मान लीजिए और किसी का स्ट्रेंथ है, लेट अस से टेक्नोलॉजी, वो दिखा सकते हैं। somebody has done a tremendous work in, let us say, gas, the modern technologies, they can show that. So whatever they feel, somebody has done great work in, let us say, clean water bodies, किसी ने घाट पे बहुत अच्छा काम किया है, गंगा घाट पे। तो जो भी आप सोचते हैं कि आपका सबसे खास पहचान है स्वच्छता का, उसकी आप प्रदर्शनी करें। ना प्रदर्शनी के लिए कॉन्सेप्ट आप लोग फाइनल कर दें और आपका जो विलिंगनेस है, वो विलिंगनेस हम लोगों को अगले वीक तक डायरेक्टर डेट बताएंगे अभी, तो वो आप लोग बता दें ताकि वी नो हाउ मेनी व्हीकल्स एंड व्हाट लॉजिस्टिक्स वुड बी रिक्वायर्ड। अब झांकी बनेगा दिल्ली में, उसके लिए आप अपने आरसी ऑफिस की मदद ले सकते हैं या फिर हम लोग एक लिस्ट दे देंगे जैसे डायरेक्टर बता रही थी, द लिस्ट ऑफ एजेंसीज जो कि रिपब्लिक डे परेड में असिस्ट करती है स्टेट्स को, दे विल बी देयर, वी विल बी शेयरिंग दैट लिस्ट विथ यू। यू कैन पिक अप any of those agencies and then curate your jhanki. Now, important is we will have to designate a ground, a common ground, jahan pe the jhankis will be prepared, and from there they will be taken to the main venue for the procession. Venue से 2 दिन पहले इनको एक practice rehearsal के लिए आना पड़ेगा। तो states will have to designate a nodal team that will come to Delhi at least 3 days prior to the event. So a state team will, by specific name and team composition, they will have to reach Delhi 3 to 4 days prior, ताकि वो लोग झांकी का कोऑर्डिनेशन कर पाए। और झांकी के बाद दूसरा कंपोनेंट अभी डायरेक्टर बताएंगी, एग्जीबिशन। एग्जीबिशन के लिए वो कोऑर्डिनेट करें। और सबसे खास बात है आपके स्टेट्स के जो डेलीगेशन आएंगे मेन प्लेनरी सेशन के लिए, उसकी भी कोऑर्डिनेशन वो करें। हम लोग आपके नोडल ऑफिसर के लिस्ट के हिसाब से यहाँ से एक कंसोलिडेटेड ऑर्डर इशू करेंगे ताकि आपके नोडल ऑफिसर्स लिटरली वर्क एज पार्ट ऑफ द एक्सटेंडेड टीम ऑफ महुआ, क्योंकि यहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोगों के इन्वॉल्वमेंट है, फूड है, लॉजिस्टिक्स है, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन टू द साइट है, साइट से फिर से बस में लोड करके वापस एकोमोडेशन प्लेस को जाना है। So this needs a lot of coordination which has to be done by a team of designated people of the state. State team can draw different people from cities, या फिर it can be a state team that is acting as a nodal. We leave that to you. But from the point of landing of teams till the point of departure, your state teams will have to work with the central team like our extended arms. So they take full responsibility, and of course our officers will be working with close coordination with them. Another thing that will be important is uh, uh, there has to be a team back, quite a responsible team that will organize the activities on 1st and 2nd back in the states and cities. So you will also have to see the composition of the team is such ताकि दिल्ली के कार्यक्रम का मैनेजमेंट और आपके स्टेट और शहर में जो बाकी का कार्यक्रम होगा 1 और 2 तारीख, दोनों का सीमलेस इंटीग्रेशन हो पाए। मधु बताइए।
तो So now after Swachhata Jhanki, the second component for the main event is Swachh Bharat exhibition. Objective of this exhibition would be to celebrate 9 years of Swachh Bharat mission and contribution of sanitation workers on the following suggested topics: innovations, products, services, and technology models in waste management, successful operating models from various cities, waste to wealth initiatives to reuse and recycle waste. Key action points from your side would be that states are requested to put up stalls as per indicative themes and share the following details with MOA. Both the things are to be shared with us as soon as possible. We have suggested 7th, but before that would also help us help you out. Theme of the stalls, designs of the stalls, number of participants in the exhibition, and timeline for the completion. Next. Now we come to the plenary session, the main session. So key activities would be inauguration of Swachh Bharat exhibition. The VIP who would be attending that program as chief guest would be interacting with the participants. Inauguration of waste to wealth projects would be there. So inauguration of those kind of projects which can get inaugurated that day. You have already started sharing that. We need to freeze that also at the earliest possible. Then foundation laying of Govardhan projects also. So details of those projects would also be needed. Announcement of key initiatives and challenges would be done by the chief guest. So you have to provide us with the details of number of participants for the plenary session, accommodation arrangements for the participants, and travel logistics details. So you again would be required to have nodal officers for each of these things. Next.
जिन स्टेट से बड़े डेलीगेशन आने हैं उनका यहाँ पे रहने का बंदोबस्त वो वी हैव टू प्लान इन एडवांस. सो अगले एक वीक में आप लोग 2-3 चीज का पूरा प्लानिंग कर लें ताकि वी कैन हैव discussion between our team and your teams so that we can also facilitate accommodation places here in Delhi and also for transportation linkages. So one is of course आपका जो preparatory activity है वो आपके level पे होगा, which is the build up fortnight. Second हो गया झांकी, the main activity. First point will be झांकी. Second will be exhibition team. Third will be plenary team. So ये जो पूरा delegation है, what is the size of the delegation? What is going to be the concept of your jhanki, whether you're participating, not participating? What is the size of the team you want to bring into the jhanki? Then you want to participate, not participate in the exhibition. If so, what is the theme that you want to present in the exhibition? Third, what is the size of the delegation you want to bring to Delhi to participate in the national event? Let me make it very clear. This national event will not be Swachh Sarvekshan award ceremony. This is not Swachh Sarvekshan award ceremony. This is a national event to celebrate 9 years of Swachhta. That is the celebration of first and second. As far as Sarvekshan is concerned, many of you have asked me, when are we expecting Sarvekshan results? Sarvekshan results will take a little more time. We are, because of rains, there are a few cities and states where the progress was a little bit delayed. So Sarvekshan will soon be completed. GFC is under progress. We have brought in a second layer of quality team to reassess and verify some of the results. And this is to be sure that there is no kind of an error or subjectivity that is going into the evaluations. We have also received few complaints of certification. सर्टिफिकेशन के प्रक्रिया में और सर्वेक्षण के प्रक्रिया में कुछ जगह से हमारे पास allegations भी आए. We have taken immediate actions on all those cases. And we also request states and cities, अगर ऐसा कोई भी situation होता है जहां पे सर्वेक्षण के नाम पे और मिनिस्ट्री के नाम पे आपसे कोई भी इलीगल कुछ भी डिमांड करता है, ब्राइब्स मांगते हैं या कुछ भी ऐसे बोलते हैं, you are free to immediately lodge FIR against the concerned person and send us a report immediately. If you don't want to do that, then at least inform us immediately, because it is important that the health and quality and the impartiality of both survection and ODF certification must continue. Therefore, to be sure of the quality, we have brought in another layer of quality cross-checking, which will take us a little time. Therefore, on 1st of October, we will celebrate 9 years of Swachh Bharat, and very soon we will move towards the announcement of Swachh Sarvekshan Awards and celebration of the same as well in another program. All right? Okay.
Next, please. Launch of key waste management initiatives. So the objective would be launch of key projects in waste management or sanitation by the chief guest on the following. As I have already mentioned about these, that details of waste to wealth projects and foundation laying of Govardhan projects. So details would be required from your end. So provide us these details, and then states to indicate to MoHUA the details by 9th of September. But many of you must have already decided the projects. Share it with us at the earliest possible. Next.
लेकिन अभी ये जो 1 और 2 तारीख का कार्यक्रम होगा, इसमें भी बहुत सारे अवार्ड्स दिए जाएंगे, जैसे टॉयकैथॉन का अवार्ड्स, विंस वुमेन्स कैंपेन का अवार्ड्स, देन
टॉयकैथॉन, टॉयलेट्स
2.0 के अवार्ड्स,
ISL 2.0,
ISL 2.0 के अवार्ड्स, और होपफुली सिटी ब्यूटिफिकेशन के अवार्ड्स भी उस समय तक फाइनल हो जाएगा. So there will be a lot of, in fact, 1/2 of the day will be dedicated towards lot of awards ceremony. So that also we will be having during these 2 days.
So that is it, ma'am.
Right. So lot of food for thought and lot of work for all of you for the next couple of weeks. So preparatory activity comprising of ISL Season 2, Seva Evam Suraksha Shivir, and fortnight-long cleanliness drive. That's part 1. For part 2, it will be Jhanki, exhibition, plenary, and participation in the 2-day program. Next 1 week, all of you take to finalize your city teams, your captain for the ISL, your locations, and your activities, so that you're ready for your registration. Also, the campsites where you will be doing your Seva Evam Suraksha Shivers. And third, your coordination meetings with all these stakeholder departments like education, scholarship, etc., etc., health department for your successful completion of the camps. That's part 1. And then for part 2, in this week itself, you will have to finalize your theme and your concept and your participation for the Jhanki. Jhanki also will have awards during that period. Day 2, second half, we will give awards for Jhanki as well as for best stalls in the exhibitions. And then your participation in the exhibition. Third part will be your participation in the plenary, your nodal team that will coordinate with the entire event here at Delhi, and who will be working as part of the national team to help us ground this program. There is one part which director has somehow missed out, which we will be, of course, sharing in details with you as we move ahead closer to the program. On 1st, when the inauguration is being proposed, we will have Swachhta town halls in cities. Swachhta town hall का ये concept है, हर शहर में एक टाउन हॉल रहता है, कम्युनिटी स्पेस है जहां पे आप लोग कार्यक्रम करते हैं. टाउन हॉल इज द हार्ट ऑफ द सिटी. सो वेदर इट इज योर टाउन हॉल or it is your community center or whichever is the most important congregation point of your city, उसे उस एक दिन के लिए 2 घंटे के लिए आप स्वच्छता टाउन हॉल करके डेजिग्नेट करें और वहां पे आप सैनिटेशन वर्कर्स को लाएं. ये जो फोर्टनाइट है, ये फोर्टनाइट में जो बेनिफिट्स इनको मिलने हैं, अगर आपने कुछ डिसाइड कर रखा है वो फोर्टनाइट में, वो आप उनको दे सकते हैं। आप उनमें कुछ अवार्ड्स दे सकते हैं, कुछ फेलिसिटेशन कर सकते हैं, और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है वो वहीं से वर्चुअली दिल्ली के कार्यक्रम से जुड़ेंगे, ताकि उस समय जब आप लोग यहाँ पे दिल्ली में होंगे और कार्यक्रम चल रहा होगा, वो लोग भी साथ जुड़े और उनको भी ये महसूस हो कि वो भी इस 9 साल के अभियान में दे हैव हैड अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल टू प्ले। तो स्वच्छता टाउन हॉल को प्लान करना, ऑर्गेनाइज करना और उनमें लोगों को इकट्ठा जोड़ना will be an important activity which the team that will stay back in the state will have to ensure. और हम पहले से ही आपसे रिपोर्ट ले लेंगे कि आपके कितने स्वच्छता टाउन हॉल्स आप प्लान कर रहे हैं और आपका एक्सपेक्टेड कॉन्ग्रीगेशन वहां पे क्या है. So these are the details that we expect you to work with your team as a base in the next 1 week before we meet you again to take a follow-up of the same. जो प्रेजेंटेशन है वो प्रेजेंटेशन आपके साथ अभी तुरंत शेयर किया जाएगा, और इसके लिए अलग सा कोई व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप की जरूरत नहीं है. ऑलरेडी यू हैव sufficient number of WhatsApp groups और nodal officers are already there. तो अगले एक वीक में I think directors and nodal officers can have a meeting in which these basic details can be collected. Vinay ji, Vinay ji, Vinay ji, I think his audio is not there. He's there in the meeting. विनय झा के रूम में कोई है? Anyway, so the directors will coordinate. So middle of next week. So today we are on Friday, maybe next Friday or Thursday. Directors can take a meeting with the state nodal officers, and a few of the key city nodal officers can also join in that meeting, and we can collect and aggregate all these information details that we are asking for. And if there are some doubts, queries that can happen, Vinay ji,
yes, madam, I'm there.
Thursday ko, coming Thursday, you can have an online meeting with the states and some important key cities, ताकि ये जो points we discussed, you can take a feedback and aggregate it till our entire activity kickstarts from 11th, when Honorable Minister will launch the campaign.
Yes.
All right. So any issues that states want to raise? कोई सवाल नहीं. मधु ने बढ़िया प्रेजेंटेशन किया. No doubt, no doubts at all. All of you are confident and sure. Huh? या इतना कुछ हो गया कि समझ में कुछ आया नहीं. There are two possibilities. इधर कुछ समझ नहीं आया या फिर सब कुछ समझ आ गया. तो बताइए क्या स्थिति है. महाराष्ट्र, I can see you. आप बताएं.
Everything okay, ma'am. समझ में आ गया पूरा. No problem.
Wonderful, wonderful.
We are
Andhra,
ready.
you are ready? Wonderful. Andhra?
Good evening, ma'am. I have recently joined and I have taken note of all the instructions, ma'am, and we'll be able to do all the things, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, no instructions here. You are new to the team. स्वच्छ भारत में हम लोग जब भी कुछ कैंपेन करते हैं साथ करते हैं.
Yes, ma'am. We'll be doing.
And there's a great spirit amongst states, and we have seen extremely brilliant action on ground. I'm very hopeful that 9th year and 2 years of Swachh Bharat, it is landmark. It is a landmark time for us. Next year, imagine we would have done a decade of Swachh Bharat, which is incredible. Yes, you can meet the expense of ISL from SBMIC funds. Guidelines issue हो जाएंगे आपके पास. कल तक guidelines will be issued. उसमें funding, financing, everything will be there. The name will be ISL Season 2. ISL Season 2 हम इसका नाम देंगे और ISL Season 2 का branding, naming, everything हम लोग 11 तारीख को Honorable Minister will be releasing it, which you all of you then will give it open files. फिर आप उसमें अपना शहर का नाम, अपना प्रदेश का नाम जो भी डालना है उसमें डाल के, जैसे हम लोग हर बार करते हैं वैसे आप लोग उसको यूज करें. Anything else? Yes, same city names. जैसे पिछली बार आपने वॉरियर्स, चैलेंजर्स, पता नहीं और क्या क्या, हरिकेन फाइटर्स, क्या क्या कुछ नाम दिया था. You please use the same names. We had last year 1850 city teams. This year I'm expecting 3500 at least. So I will request PMU to give state-wise how many cities and how many city teams were there last year. वो आप share कर दीजिए so that states know what is their baseline. और पिछली बार we had a participation of 5 lakhs. This year our target is 15 lakhs because you have time, you have mobilization, you are experienced, and you will be able to do it. Okay. Haryana? Silence.
Ma'am.
You're there.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. So I too joined recently, ma'am, and it's a great opportunity for us to showcase that we can gather the momentum and do the things as we discussed. And
Okay.
I want to assure you, ma'am, we'll be doing it in a better way.
Great, great. आप लोग स्वच्छता लीग का कोई, even you can think of a site which is not absolutely inside dump site, but maybe towards the outskirts. It can also, you can think of that also. Somebody who's a little more courageous, you can think of that as well.
Sure, ma'am.
Chhattisgarh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Chhattisgarh.
Yes, ma'am.
Chhattisgarh. Where's the mission director?
Ma'am, I'm a display CO. CO sir is not well.
So all points are clear.
Yes, ma'am.
So I saw you clapping very happily. So you are ready for awards.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I came to know we have won many awards, ma'am.
Okay.
Really
So-
waiting for awards.
So you plan well. You plan well. There is a lot of
Yes,
scope.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
This is-
हमारे मिशन डायरेक्टर मैम DPR के भी चार्ज में है, तो हम लोग झांकी वगैरह में कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी मैम, कर लेंगे. और आपने बहुत अच्छा सजेस्ट किया अभी वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट वाला मैम, तो वो बहुत अच्छा कर लेंगे मैम.
आपका तो मतलब if your 100 women just come with their own tools, that itself is enough.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
वही
ma'am. Yes,
enough
ma'am.
है. You don't
Sure,
need
ma'am.
any other झांकी. वही
Yes,
है
ma'am.
आपका. चलो
Sure,
ठीक
ma'am.
है. बढ़िया है. Nagaland.
Thank you, ma'am.
Nagaland.
Yes, ma'am.
All clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Excellent. Show us some nice innovations. Northeast throws up some surprises every year. Extremely impressive.
We'll try our
So
best, ma'am.
do
Yeah.
something nice.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All set?
Yeah, we'll give our best.
Understood everything?
Yeah, we understand.
अच्छा, not just about games and all. उससे पहले जो मतलब पढ़ाई वाली चीज I said that you understood ना, finance, action plan, utilization, या सारा वो भूल गए आप लोग ISL के चक्कर में. उसको भूलना नहीं. वो 13 तारीख नार्क में सब आएगा. ठीक है?
Yes.
हमारे कंपोस्टिंग, गैस प्लांट्स, डंप साइट्स, सफाई मित्र सुरक्षा, पैसा, खर्चा, यूसी, ये मेन है. इसको भूलना नहीं.
Yeah, ma'am.
ठीक है?
Yeah.
झारखंड.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
Everything is
afternoon.
clear.
Okay,
We'll,
good.
we will
So
act accordingly, ma'am.
think of an excellent theme. think of a great theme and project that. All right. You
Sure,
have
ma'am.
been doing well in सर्वेक्षण amongst less than 100 ULBs. और अच्छे से कीजिए.
Thank you,
You
ma'am.
can even think, some of you can also think of taking one city as your jhaki concept. जैसे if some of you has, let us say, somebody can take Bodh Gaya or Sarnath, or maybe even think of a city as a concept and build either your exhibition or your jhanki around it. I'm sure as all of us put our heads together, we will be truly able to showcase 9 years of Swachhta. This is the most incredible mission in the entire world. I can say that with absolute certainty. And I don't say it because I have had the opportunity to sit here. I say it with complete conviction because in no other mission there has been such participation of public.
Yeah.
All right? Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
J&K.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, a couple of awards last year, ma'am. We'll try to replicate this time, ma'am. I've imbibed, ma'am, everything.
So there are many more awards this year.
Yes, ma'am.
So we will be
I've
most
imbibed, ma'am.
happy.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go a little down south. Tamil Nadu.
Good afternoon, ma'am. The presentation was very clear, ma'am. So we will also proceed as per the points which have been given, ma'am. And we'll
You
put
have
up.
been doing excellent work in Tamil Nadu with your pollution control board around plastic.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and your forest department, pollution control board, there's a lot of interesting work that's happening around plastic. So even on Swachhta League, in one of your areas, you can take that as one theme.
Okay.
So because the overall hashtag is youth versus garbage, so youth versus single-use plastic is also a very strong statement. So you can think of that. Youth
Yes.
versus food waste. In some area, you can take a theme of youth versus food waste. Youth for, what do you call it? Youth against this fast fashion. Fast fashion adds a lot of textile waste. So
Yes.
think. And every city can come up with different ideas and make that their strength for the ISL. Because one will be participation, one will be also concept and innovation.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
We'll take the cue, ma'am. Different cities will try to come up with different themes.
Yeah. So you have different strengths. So try to bring at least top 5, 6 who you think are contenders for good innovations. They
Yes.
can come up with innovative things and come up with great captains.
Yes, ma'am.
You can have a young parliamentarian, a young legislator, a cricketer, somebody who is a Padma awardee. Take a face of a captain. That itself gives the message.
Yes, ma'am. Last year also we had the green captains, ma'am. Rameshwaram won the award also. We will replicate it this time also.
So municipal commissioners जहाँ पे भी interested हो रहे हैं captains के लिए, vice captains के आप लोग ले लीजिए.
Yes.
Try and get others as captains. आप लोग तो मतलब हर दिन साल भर आप लोग ही कैप्टनसी करते हैं. साल में एक दिन किसी और को भी कैप्टनसी देके देखिए.
Yes, ma'am. We'll find out brand ambassadors, ma'am. Different cricketers, famous personalities.
And जहाँ पे भी शहर में मन की बात के आइकन्स हो, जिनके बारे में मन की बात में जिक्र हुआ है, उनको भी लाइए कैप्टनसी के लिए.
Okay.
So
we'll follow it.
All right, wonderful.
नमस्ते मैडम.
Yes.
नमस्ते मैडम. आई एम पूरन सिंह फ्रॉम पंजाब. हमारे मंत्री साहब मीटिंग ले रहे हैं. अभी मिशन डायरेक्टर मैडम छोड़ के गई हैं और हम भी उसमें जा रहे हैं. मैं एक बात बताना चाहूँगा कि पंजाब विल बी डूइंग मच बेटर देन द लास्ट ईयर एंड वी विल प्रिपेयर एंड वी विल मेक इट ए कैंपेन बिकॉज वी हैव लॉट ऑफ स्टेक होल्डर्स फॉर IEC and we will do in different fields and differently. That we can assure.
और जो आपके जैसे लैंडमार्क स्पॉट्स है, जैसे गोल्डन टेम्पल है, वहां पे कुछ खास ही कीजिए।
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. We'll do, madam.
आपकी एक्स एमडी तो अभी हमारे साथ ही है यहाँ पे, so
जी,
give her an opportunity to feel proud. हाँ?
Definitely,
Give her an
madam. आपको
opportunity.
भी proud होगा पंजाब पर, and madam तो है ही. She has been a
Sure.
guiding light for us.
All right, let's hear from some of our union territories. Union territories कैसे करेंगे? पुडुचेरी।
So thank you, madam. हम जाए madam meeting में.
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है।
Thank you, madam.
पुडुचेरी बताएं।
We will able to formulate and prepare in as much as 6 activities in a due course.
पुडुचेरी में देखिए ऑरोविल आश्रम है, ऑरोविल आश्रम है।
Yes, madam.
आप आश्रम का भी स्ट्रेंथ लिवरेज कर सकते हैं।
Yes.
ठीक है, तो आश्रम में आश्रम का स्ट्रेंथ इज अ लॉट एंड यू हैव दिस ओल्ड फ्रेंच कॉलोनीज एंड एवरीथिंग, सो ट्राई एंड डू समथिंग वेरी यूनिक अराउंड दैट।
Yes.
Okay. Then which other UT is there? Any other UT is there? Chandigarh? Chandigarh?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, our commissioner was attending the VC, but he's somewhere else, so disconnect हो गया था अभी बीच में.
Yes, I saw your mission director online.
जी जी.
So आप लोग तो ऐसे भी अच्छे करते हैं, तो
जी,
ये
जी.
भी प्लान कीजिए। और आपका ऑलरेडी वेलफेयर एक्टिविटीज फॉर सैनिटेशन वर्कर चंडीगढ़ हैज डन exceptionally well. So you try and do something more beyond what has already been done. अभी तो मैं अभी देख रही थी सोशल मीडिया में राखी पे आप लोगों ने सैनिटेशन वर्कर्स के साथ राखी का सेलिब्रेशन किया था, बहुत ही अच्छा है।
जी जी.
तो
Thank you, ma'am.
डू योर कैंप्स, और ISL भी आपका पिछली बार बहुत अच्छा हुआ था, सो ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर दैट।
जी, thank you.
और
Ma'am, we will definitely try to do best.
नेशनल इवेंट के लिए भी जो प्लानिंग आपका है, झांकी और एग्जीबिशन और पार्टिसिपेशन इन द प्लेनरी, आपका क्या डेलीगेशन साइज यहाँ पे पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए आएगा, ये सब आप लोग यूटी लेवल में, हेडक्वार्टर्स लेवल में डिस्कस कर लीजिए, ताकि एक वीक में जब डायरेक्टर विनय जी लेंगे मीटिंग आप लोगों के साथ, यू शुड बी एबल टू गिव हिम फीडबैक ऑन योर स्केल ऑफ पार्टिसिपेशन। All right?
जी जी ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
So great. So everybody seems to have kind of understood. So we can close this meeting, and my team will connect with your nodal officers and some of your city teams. Coming week, Thursday, time will be subsequently shared. All the very best. We can close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.